Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be drafting a basic bodice. Of course, you need your scissors, your tape, your marker, and your French curve or ruler. Then our measurements today, we'll be using our shoulder 16 inches, our shoulder to bust or shoulder to nipple 11 inches, shoulder to under bust 14 inches. Half length will be 17 inches, nipple to nipple will be 8 inches, bust will be 36 inches, under bust 28, the waist too is also 28, the hip will be 38 inches, and the top length will be 26 inches. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel in case you find this video very helpful. So I'm just going to rule a straight line that will serve as my starting line, and I'll place my vertical measurements. My shoulder to bust, shoulder to under bust, nipple, and full length with allowance, 1 inch allowance for folding at the base. So I'm just going to do the same thing at the other side and also draw my straight line so I can get a very straight line. So with this, I've placed my vertical measurement. I'm just going to label it shoulder down to the full length and allowance. The shoulder is 16 inches, so I'll just divide by 2 plus 0.5 inch, 8.5. Come down with 1 inch as shoulder slant because our shoulder is not straight, it's slanted. Then put my basic neckline of 3 by 3. So I'll just use my French curve to connect it like so. Now I can connect my neckline to my shoulder slant. To get my armhole, I am going to measure what I have in the shoulder, which is 8.5, and also come down by 8.5. Or I use the formula bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. So any of this method, you can use it for your armhole curve. But I'm going to use 8.5 for the purpose of this video. So just measure what I have and then put it downward like so. Then also measure it horizontally too so I can get a straight line. And then connect it to my shoulder slant. So now I'm going to place my horizontal measurements. And to do that, I have my shoulder divided by 2, bust divided by 4, my under bust is divided by 4, my everything is divided by 4 except the shoulder. Shoulder is divided by 2, while every other round measurement is divided by 4. So I'm going to take my bust is 36 divided by 4, and whatever it is I have there, I'm going to place it. For the under bust, we have 28 divided by 4, which is 7, so I just mark my 7. Then for the waist, we have 28 divided by 4, 7. And then the hip divided by 4 is 9.5. So I'm just dividing it. 38 divided by 4, 9.5. Then place my 9.5 on my full length and also on my allowance like so. So I'm just going to use my French curve, my ruler to join it. I'm going to connect it like so. Don't bother about the under bust. We're going to shape it during the shaping of the main dress. So that sharp edge, I'm just going to curve it to make it smooth because we don't have sharp edges in our body, it's curves. So I'm just going to go ahead to add my allowance to all of them. So I can use 1 inch allowance or 2 inch allowance, but for this video I'm going to use 1 inch allowance. So I'm just going to add the allowance across all my measurements down to my full length and also connect it like we did earlier. So I'll connect it like so and like so. It's super easy, just follow the steps and also just curve that edge. So I'm labeling it allowance. That is our allowance. So I'm going to go ahead to add our dart. Our nipple to nipple is 8 divided by 2, because our front is on fold. Divided by 2 will give us 4. So I'm going to mark 4 on my bodice, 4 on the bust, the under bust, down to the full length. I'm going to take it all the way to the full length, like so. So I just mark it. Please do well to follow these steps accordingly, then you're going to get a full basic bodice. So I'm going to connect the line like so, and then on my waist or my half length, I'm going to divide 1 by 2, mark half on both sides, and connect it to my bust, and also come up from my full length with 2 inches, and then connect it down like so. Yes, so our dart is ready. I'm going to just label this as my front. And then I forgot to come down from the bust point by 1 inch. It's not supposed to start from your bust. It's supposed to come down by 1 inch from your bust. So I'm going to just remark it like so. So from the full length, I came up by 2 inches to get a curve, because our basic bodice is not going to be straight by the edge. It's going to have a slant. So I'll connect that 2 inches to my dart leg like so. So I came up by 2 inches. I'm just making sure my allowance is also still intact. So I've curved my basic bodice. So I'm just marking out my allowance at the base. Now we need to return the dart we took in, which is 1 inch. So I'm just going to add it at the waist, and then connect the 1 inch to the top, which is the chest line, and then connect it back to the base of the full dress, full bodies. So you see that I've added the 1 inch back, so you can see that it's very clear. All I did was just add the 1 inch back. Now to the armhole. To get the armhole curve, I am going to divide the armhole line, look for the middle, and mark it. We have 9 inch, so I'm just going to divide 9 by 2, which is 4.5. Then I'm going to mark it and come in with 0.5 inch. Now that's what I will use to get my curve, so that I will not have bulge by the armhole. So I'm just going to use my French curve to connect it to my chest line like so. So our front basic bodice is ready. I'm just going to cut it out and then use it to draft my back basic bodice. So now I'm placing my front on my back basic bodice and drawing my starting line like we did at the front. So I'm just going to make the front bodice to meet the starting line. But before that, let us draw our zip allowance. So our zip allowance, we use 1.5. I'll just extend it all the way down. Everything is basically the same thing on the back bodice. It's just the zip allowance that's one of the differences. So I'm just connecting my zip allowance like so. So I'm going to label it zip allowance, and then align the middle of my front to the zip allowance, and also extend the lines on the back. I'm just tracing the lines on the back so that I'll connect it. I'll not need to remeasure. So that's what I am doing like so. Now I'm going to take my neckline. The wideness of the back is the same as the front, but the depth is like 1 inch. So I'm just going to connect it, the 1 inch to the 3 inches wideness for my back. So that's the basic measurements for back neckline. So I'm also going to trace out the shoulder slope that I did before. Now I'm returning the 0.5 inches that I took in for the front. I'm returning it at the middle for the back, because the back does not need to be deep. You just draw it like so. It's only the front that goes in by 0.5 inch. So I return 0.5 inch to get my back armhole. So every other thing is pretty much the same thing. I'm just going to trace it out by cutting it like so. Cut my neckline, my shoulder that I traced out, the armhole that I returned the 0.5 inch. Then the shaping is the same thing for the back, so I'm just going to cut that out also. So you can see the difference for the back is the zip allowance, the neckline, and the armhole. That was the only thing that we did on our back bodies. So I'm just retracing other lines so that I will just connect it for the back. Maybe I need the back. Now I'm going to use my ruler to connect those lines that I just traced out like so. So I'm labeling it. That's my chest line, that is my waist, and that is my full length. Don't forget we've already added the allowance for the full length. Now I'm going to place my darts using the 4 inch I used at the front. That's nipple divided by 2. So I'll divide and join like so. Now at the waist, I'm going to place 1/2 inch on both sides of the line and connect it to the chest line. I'll come up by 2 inches from the full length and connect like so. I don't need to come down by 1 inch from the chest line for the back because there's no bust. We'll just leave it like so. Now for the zip allowance, our back is not straight, our back is slanted. So as not to have bulge, I'm going to come in by 0.5 inches on the waist and connect it back to the chest line and also connect it downward to the full length. So with this, I'm replacing my 1.5 inch zip allowance that I used before at the waist so that I can reconnect it. So I just measured my 1.5 on the waist like so and connect it back to the top and connect it downward to the full length like so. With this, I will not have any bulginess at the back of the dress when I'm done sewing. So I'm just going to trim that part out. Just going to trim that part out like so. So our basic bodice for the back is pretty much ready and that of the front is ready. I'm just going to check the shoulders to see that they align properly and the length also align properly. Everything seems to be pretty much okay at this point. What we need to do is to cut it on our clothes. So thank you so much for coming this far. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.